When Forbes last published their rich list, Amazon owner Jeff Bezos was the richest man in the world, with a fortune estimated at around $177 billion. That's a number quite hard to comprehend. To put it in perspective, Jeff Bezos' personal wealth is larger than the GDP of 75% of countries around the world. This means that one man holds the equivalent wealth of a nation, and a fairly big one at that. This level of wealth is beyond what anyone could conceivably spend in a lifetime, no matter how expensive their tastes. Jeff Bezos, at 57 years old, would have to spend almost $22 million every single day until he turned 80 to use up all his $177 billion. That's well over 10 times the average income an American makes over their entire career, every single day, for about 8,400 days in a row. However, while Jeff Bezos may be the richest man in modern times, he isn't the richest human being ever to have lived. When adjusted for inflation, Bezos isn't even close. That title goes to someone whose fortune was over twice the size of Bezos and larger than the combined wealth of Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Jack Ma. Despite his immense wealth, many people have never heard of him. His name is Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. Who was Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa was the Sultan of the Mali Empire and was born almost 750 years ago. Most people in Europe and the US may not have heard of him because their school systems traditionally do not emphasize African history. This is unfortunate because the Mali Empire, the largest ever seen in Western Africa, was quite significant. In the 14th century, it covered almost 500,000 square miles and was home to 5% of the world's population. The empire rose quickly during what's known as the Golden Age of trade in Africa, and its wealth came primarily from two things: gold and salt. At the time, approximately half of all the gold in the Old World, Europe, Africa, and Asia, came from just 3 gold mines in Mali. While the idea of a vast fortune coming from gold is no surprise, the fact that salt was a major factor might seem odd today. However, in the 14th century, salt was incredibly valuable in many parts of Africa. It was essential for the human diet, made bland food more palatable, and served as a preservative before reliable refrigeration. In regions where salt was sparse, it was literally worth its weight in gold. Mansa Musa's rise to power. Mansa Musa was born around 1280 AD and became the 10th ruler of the Mali Empire around 1312 AD. His rise to power was unusual. He was originally a temporary ruler, selected when his predecessor, Abubakar Keita II, decided to explore the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. The emperor took 3,000 ships and left his throne and immense wealth behind, never to return. Some historians believe he might have reached South Africa, but that's a story for another day. With the emperor gone, Mansa Musa officially ascended to the throne and expanded the borders of his empire while growing his wealth. The wealth of Mansa Musa. As the head of Africa's greatest empires, just how rich was Mansa Musa? His fortune is estimated at around $400 billion, accounting for inflation. This is comparable to the GDP of Norway or Ireland. However, the exact numbers aren't that important. Mansa Musa's wealth was so immense that it seemed limitless. He could do whatever he wanted, whenever he felt like it. One of the most remarkable examples of his wealth was his pilgrimage to Mecca. As a devout Muslim, Mansa Musa undertook the Hajj, a journey to Mecca, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. His pilgrimage was one of the most extraordinary journeys ever made. He traveled with 60,000 men and women, 100 elephants, 80 camels, a personal guard of 500 highly trained warriors, and enough food, water, and animals to feed everyone. It was like a movable city, a caravan stretching longer than the eye could see. Mansa Musa took 21,000 kilograms of solid gold with him. Each of his 12,000 slaves carried almost 2 kilos of gold. He also brought thousands of kilos of gold dust, which was used as currency throughout his kingdom. The display of wealth during his trip to Mecca was something the world had never seen before. Mansa Musa's generosity. Despite this extravagant show of riches, Mansa Musa's intentions were not solely to display his wealth. Another pillar of Islam is zakat, which means giving alms to charitable causes. Mansa Musa planned to give away all of the gold he brought with him. He handed out so much gold to the poor along his route that he crashed the price of gold in North Africa and the Western Arabian Peninsula, including major gold trading cities like Cairo, Medina, and Mecca. This caused a decade-long recession. His generosity earned him a reputation akin to being the Mr. Beast of his day. Mansa Musa also wanted to spread his beliefs far and wide. He started a tradition of building a mosque every Friday during his pilgrimage. Considering the trip took almost 2 years, that's a lot of mosques. However, not everyone believes his intentions were purely philanthropic. Some historians think he used the pilgrimage as a medieval PR exercise to show off his wealth, impress his friends, frighten his enemies, and put the Mali Empire on the map. The legacy of Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage did put the Mali Empire on the map, both figuratively and literally. His wealth and generosity won him thousands of supporters and brought the services of celebrated thinkers and artists to his empire. He built mosques and educational institutions in many cities, focusing particularly in Timbuktu. Timbuktu, annexed by Mansa Musa on his way back from Mecca, became one of the most important centers for trade, culture, region, and learning in the world. The Jinguweraber Mosque, which Mansa Musa funded with 200 kilograms of gold, still stands today and is part of Timbuktu University. At its peak, the university had 25,000 students and a library with 1 million books, more than the Great Library of Alexandria at its height. Mansa Musa stands as a towering figure in history, renowned for his incomparable wealth and profound generosity. His legacy transcends mere monetary value. It embodies a spirit of benevolence and stewardship that continues to resonate today. Mansa Musa's ability to wield vast resources for the betterment of his empire and beyond underscores the transformative power of wealth when used with compassion and foresight. His pilgrimage to Mecca, where he distributed gold and built mosques, symbolizes not only his faith, but also his commitment to uplifting others. By elevating cities like Timbuktu into centers of learning and culture, Mansa Musa left an enduring legacy that shaped the course of African history. His actions challenged perceptions of wealth and power, illustrating that true greatness lies in one's ability to benefit humanity. Mansa Musa's story serves as an inspiration, encouraging us to consider how wealth can be a force for positive change in the world, promoting education, infrastructure, and community well-being. As we reflect on his life and achievements, we celebrate Mansa Musa not only as the richest man in history, but also as a visionary leader whose impact continues to be felt centuries later. And that concludes our video showcasing the world of luxury. If you enjoyed this content, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up. We appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to having you join us in our upcoming videos.